doing? Welcome if you are new, or welcome back. A year ago, I made a video titled Holding Ourselves Accountable, and since it's been a year, I figured I would do a little follow-up to that video to kind of show you what I still use and show you what I have added. So hang around and we'll get this going. Okay, so I still use this and I'm still loving it. And I still use this setup and it still works with my kids and for me. I still use all three of these things. Last thing I believe it is that we still use would be the kids checklist, and we do still use it. We use it still. I just moved it into a binder for them, so that way instead of running back and forth to make sure everything is completed, it is right there with them and they can carry it around with them while they are doing that. So if you have seen my video on this and you remember something that was in there that I did not mention and you're wondering if we still use it, leave a comment down below and I will answer on whether or not we still use it. But with that said, let's move on to the things that I have added. Okay, just so to start the new things I have added, there is not that many things, but I know that kids and adults, everybody can have their moments where they're just not in a good mood. They could be happy one minute and then something happened and they're just not in a good mood. Or they wake up in a not good mood and then something happens and it makes them in a better mood. So, something I have added is I found these papers. One looks like this. One looks like this. And one looks like this. And this one is ways that you can deal with stress or being angry other than screaming and yelling and all that stuff. So we went through and I had my kids tell me which ones they would do and which ones they would not like to do. Then we talked about this and it coincides with this. And we talked about what the different feelings meant. And then I showed them this. And so what we do is, or I try to do, is in the mornings or before we start school or anything like that, I talk with them. I ask them what their mood's like, how they slept, things like that, so I can kind of get a feel for how the morning's gonna go, our day's gonna go, and if they wake up feeling not so happy or in a bad mood or something, I do tend to ask, oh, what can I do to make your day better? Things like that. So then I have this up on one of our doors, and I can have them go over to the door and show me which feeling they are feeling at the current time. And then we can go from there, depending on how their feeling is, on how we approach the day or the certain task that they need to complete or something of that nature. Then we were at a restaurant that was selling these things, and if you don't know what these things are, they are called a reversible plushie. And this one's a sad face. and then you flip it inside out, and you have the happy face. And so we got each of our kids one of these because they really wanted it, and I figured we could use it for the day, like throughout the day. So I like them to keep this at their computers or wherever they may be, but it gets moved around so much that it doesn't always get used. But I am going to try to continue to use these so that way if I'm in a good mood, they can turn their thing to this, their little plushie to the happy face. But then maybe something happens throughout the day that makes them angry or sad or something. They can just turn this around. That way I know that they are not having a good time or a good day, and I'm able to talk with them if they want to talk. I know some people, when they're upset, like myself, we'd rather just be alone and not bothered. So if they just flip their little plushie around, I can, be like, hey, do you want to talk, or do you want to just be left alone for now? And we can go from there to figure out if we can solve the problem at that time or at a little later time. So that is it for the kids. And then something else I added is because I do like writing what our dinners are like a week ahead of time, and I still use that thing as I had showed you. But something I added, and I need to do it for the month of October, is I grabbed, I printed off a little calendar. Now you can buy a calendar, you can print one off that you like. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do this, and I've seen so many people do this that I figured I wanted to give it a try and see if it's gonna work. But I printed off a calendar, and then I got a binder, and what I do is I just fill it out for the whole month. That way, if I decide I want to do a 1 month grocery haul, which doesn't usually happen, or I can go grocery shopping for a couple weeks ahead of time, I can look at my list, see what I have planned for dinner, and make sure I have all the items that I'm going to need in order to make said meal. So I do use this. I'm still kind of new to it, kind of loosely, but I do use this as a guide to my shopping trips and as a guide to kind of know what we're going to have for the week. And there's weeks that we do switch it off and on, but there's also weeks we follow it to a T. So it just kind of depends on our life in that time and our moods and everything like that. But that is what I have added, and that is what I still use. As I said before, if you find something in the other video that I did not mention and you're wondering if we still use it, leave it down in the comments below and I will answer it. And if you think any of these things would be useful for you, I hope you go and are able to apply them to your lives. And if it doesn't work for you, that is okay. It is what just works for us right now. So I hope you all have a great week and an amazing day. And I will see you guys next time.